Hey, it's Scott Norris here. Now today I'm going to be talking and looking at Wavefront. Now it's something I've been meaning to dive into a bit more as of recently, and I finally had a chance to sit down and actually do some stuff with it, and I'm really excited with the opportunities and the things that are running through my head about it. But for today I'm just looking at covering a very simple use case. Now a lot of people have got solar or wind power and a lot of other home devices, and I wanted to put that into Wavefront. Now the existing, it's a pretty cheap one. It's the online dashboard that it gives me isn't that great, and this is what I love. As we can see here, we've got Wavefront. Now nothing very special, but it's a ton better than the out of the box dashboards that the current energy system gives me. And as you can see here, I've got the last 6 hours. At the moment, it's at night time, it's 8:30 at night, so I'm not generating any power, I'm not exporting anything. My house is currently consuming 2.36 kilowatt hours, or kilowatts, and you can see my lab is using 47% of my home power usage, which is pretty big. So we can see we've got a line here, versus generated versus used, and we can see starts dropping down towards the end of the night, and then I go down to total generated, exported, etc. And as we zoom down here, I've actually started to do some costings, and over the 6 hour period, that's how much it cost me, and obviously that's how much money I got from exporting unused power from my solar panels. So what I'm going to show today is how to create this dashboard, and also how to input the data into Wavefront. Now Wavefront uses proxy agent, and also can ingest directly via the API, but with the proxy, generally for the out-of-the-box stuff, so if you have a look at the out-of-the-box integrations that come with Wavefront, there is a lot of them. It uses the Telegraph agent on the majority of things outside of the AWS, but all these ones, lots of out-of-the-box stuff there, but we're actually importing custom values today. So what I'm going to do is start with a nice fresh instance, one that doesn't have any data in it of mine anyway, and what we're going to need is the API access, this token down here. Now I'm going to revoke this afterwards, so it's not useful for anyone if they want to input data into this, but let's have a look at the current metrics. So we can go to browse metrics, and we can see we've got a bunch of different metrics here. So what I'm gonna do is show a couple of ways to ingest. So as we can see here, we've got a simple curl command doing ingestion directly to the API, and we're using our token there as a bearer token. The data we're going to put in is Scott dot. So this is essentially the foldering using dots. Now you don't have to use dots, I just like to. Then the value, so I'm going to give it 40 for this particular instance, and then your URL for your Wavefront account, /report. Now we're going to send that. Cool. Now if we go back, if we look here, we should be able to see a Scott here, and there it is. So we've got Scott's testing 02, and then that should have a data point at the moment of 40, and there it is. So that's how you would ingest directly to the API. We can change this to 45. Let's make it a bit, let's double it to 80. Enter that. And while we're here, why not just go testing 03, and that can be 60. Cool. So if we look at live data here, there it is. It's already jumped up to 80, so it's above there already. Let's shrink that. Yep. And if we go out of here, I'll just go back. And there's our Scott testing 3 with what would be our 60. So, you know, quite simple, and you can see how easily it is to submit there. But let's have a look at what I've done for my solar. So as we can see here, this is just a simple Python script. What it's doing is it's making a socket connection to the Wavefront proxy that's currently running in my lab, and essentially you do a netcat to it. But I'm doing a Python equivalent, so I'm just opening a socket to 2878, and that's the IP address on my machine. My URL is Energy Hive, is where all my data's uploaded from my my energy system, and I've got a token there, it's not visible. We can then have define my function to send the metrics. So you can see all I'm sending, my message at the end of the day that's being sent is metric space value space source. So I'm calling my source effigy for the energy system, and that's all is plain text, nothing special. And we can see there I've got multiple I guess devices that are sending data, so I'm just making a choice depending which one it's being sent through of what the metric is called, and that's it. So simple as that. So I'll quit out of that, and what I'll do is instead of ingesting new data into here, I'll go back to the old one where my data is, and we can see that they're the lab usage. They're the ones that are submitting data. Now I'm doing that on 30-second intervals and just using a cron job, you know, nothing special. Now what we'll do is we'll create a dashboard. So let's look at dashboards. Let's create a dashboard. We'll do energy. And we'll create. All right. So let's add a new chart, something simple. Now I'll do a line plot, and for here we just want to search our metrics, so I can go line started with home dot power, and I want usage. Awesome. Now these should start with TS. Oh, what happened there? There it is. So that's our line. Now I actually want two in there because I want my power usage versus my solar generation. So I can go TS home dot solar, I think is what it was called. That's wrong. Where is it? Oh, sorry, I'm in the function. So you can automatically create functions. I don't want to do that here. I just want to actually type it out manually. So that's just the function editor that I was in there. And solar generation, there it is. Oh. There it is. Click on the right one, and there it is. So that's gonna, obviously if I go back a couple of hours, we can see that. Awesome. We give it a chart, so we'll do like generation versus usage. We'll give it a axis. My units is watts. And we can choose our style, description, and a legend if you want, but I'll just accept that. Awesome. So there's our generation versus usages. I'll change that. But now we want a few more. So now I'll want a new chart. And this one will do the same thing, but we're going to convert it into kilowatt. So we'll do home dot power, and we'll use usage. And what we're going to do is change the chart to single stat. Now for this, I want to divide by 1,000. Cool. And then give it this. We'll go. I'll do current power use. We'll look at the axis. Now this is going to be kilowatt hours, and we want single stat. Now you can do the precision to decimal places, so I can do 1 or 2 if I'd like. Then we want our general, sparkline, there it is. So I want to remove the sparkline, and I want background, and I want to give it a color. So this is used, I might just give it that color. Nice pastel. Done. Alright, so that's that one. Now let's do generated. And we go, okay, add a new one. Or maybe exported. Actually, no, we'll go generated. So again, I'll turn that off. I always forget to do that. TS home.power solar generation. We'll do divided by 1,000 as well. Now that's going to be nothing, but we want a single stat. Again, we go no, I want background. Let's give it a color. I'll use it as green. And let's just do, not 12, 1. And axis, we'll do kilowatt hours again. Alright. New chart, no. Currently generated. Cool. Alright. Then what we can do is I can have explored. So we can drag that, so put them next to each other. And these little lines on the side here means we can, make them smaller or bigger, depending what you want to do. But I like mine fairly small. And then what I'll do is go, okay, export. So this is where you start doing queries. So VROPs, love VROPs, love supermetrics. But I'm really getting the hang of the queries in Wavefront, and they can be really powerful. Very similar to how you create supermetrics in a lot of ways, but it does have a lot more options to it. But what I want to do is like currently exported power. So because in my solar, which is net usage, meaning that I will use the power generated, but if I'm generating more than I'm using, then the rest get exported to the grid. So I want to know how much I'm exporting. So this is where we can do a new one, but this is an if statement essentially. So I want to do an if, and then we go if in brackets here, and then there. So if I'll go if solar power home dot solar generation is larger than TS dot power usage, then we have a comma to say, and then whatever follows that is if that is true. So if that's true, I want, and I'll keep these in brackets, TS power, not power, home dot solar generation minus TS home dot power dot usage. Cool. And then divide that by 1,000, so I get some 100. So I get it in kilowatt hours or kilowatts, and then comma 0. So that basically is the if solar generation is larger than power usage, then is that comma, solar generation minus power usage divided by 1000, else it's just 0 because I'm not exporting anything. So that should be fine, and I shouldn't be exporting anything right now, but let's, cool, that works fine. New chart, okay, current export power, into axis, into kilowatt, let's change that to single stat, and then again, why is it let me up? Sparkline, text, background, and let's give it that color. Yeah, why not? And accept. Cool. And drag that there. So I just realized that is not kilowatt hours. I'm not up to that yet. So let's go access. It's just kilowatts. Accept. So you can see, like, this is, you know, starting to come together pretty easy, and it's not that hard. So, you know, you can start pitching, while this is you know, something enterprises wouldn't do, obviously, unless they're running solar, which some do. You know, you can see how this can start working for you with applications, for hardware, for any number of systems. So now, look, I won't go completely through this. I'll, you know, waste everyone's time. But say we want to go to kilowatt hours, I guess you can say. So I'll do a kilowatt hour one. Now, there's lots of different ways you can do this, but what I wanted was, over the period of time that we're looking at, I want to be able to say this is how many kilowatt hours of electricity that I used. So to do that, I can use this integral, and then what that does to me, I can go ts home.power dot usage, and then what I want to do is times that by 0.0083. So what that is that I'm putting metrics in every 30 seconds, meaning that I do 60 seconds, 60, like a minute, 30 seconds divided by an hour, essentially, and that's what that number is there, if you're wondering, and then I divide it by 1000 to get the kilowatts side of it. So I can have a look there. Awesome. On this again, I want to have a single stat view. I really like this view. We can go, this would be kilowatt hours, and sparkline, none, background, this is usage, so let's give it a nice red color there, a bit sore on the eyes, and this one we can go, you know, use power, accept. Cool. So again, that can go there. Now you can only have 4 in a row that you can use, and then we can get into, you know, we can go to the kilowatt hours exported, which is very similar to what we did here, except we use that integral line there, so I won't go into that. But what we can have a look at is maybe the money. So what can I have is, here's one I prepared earlier, because I'm not going to write that one out, but I'll talk through it. Boom. Alright, so what's happening here? So as you can see, we've got the essentially saying over that period of time, if we got generation is greater than usage, Then I want to do home usage times by that to get the kilowatt hours, minus the solar generation kilowatt hours. Minus the solar generation minus the power usage in kilowatt hours, times by 22 cents a kilowatt hour is what I pay. If that if statement doesn't work, so this is for, if the solar generation isn't higher than usage, then all it is my power usage in kilowatt hours times 22 cents. So you can see how that's basically doing an if and then, and that's what it's giving us. So we can actually have a look here, turn it into single stat, and at the moment it's costing me 99 cents for that particular time period. So if I was to just accept that where it is, and I say change this to 6 hours, and we can see that's how much I paid over the 6 hours. So that's working as expected. Now maybe we want to just get the another one, which is just the exported. So this is not as bad, but again, I'll just cut and paste this one. And we can have a look here. So I get paid 9 cents. It's pretty criminal, actually, that I get charged 22 cents, but they only pay me 9 cents for every kilowatt hour that I put onto the grid. Anyway, that aside, again, same thing. If solar generation is larger than power usage, then solar generation minus power usage, get the kilowatt hours, and then what I do is divide by 1, which doesn't do anything. I think that was just when I was working out, and I've left it there, and then I've times it by 9 cents. So that gives us our number there, so I can have a look at the single stat there, and it's showing that. Other things that you can do, obviously, let's have a look at we can keep the spark line in here. Bottom. But if you wanted to go line plot, you've got some different styles that you can give. Not styles, general. Actually, stacked. Yeah, so you can do these type of ones as well. Have them stacked up. You can have, I'm pretty sure with a single stat here, if I do, hang on, I'll find it. Yeah, here. It's not very well, so I'll do that. Yeah, so you can fill the spark line in that particular unit too if you want, instead of just having a line. So anyway, look, I'm going to wrap it up there because I think you get the point of how to create this thing now. I will post my JSON file for the actual full one up, and yeah, download it, copy it, use it, log on, get your 30-day trial, have a go at it. It's really good, really useful, and that's me for tonight. Cheers, bye.